My name is DC. I live in Israel, Tel Aviv. About to be a social worker. I came here to be healed in some manners, to change some of the patterns that I recognized were not good in my life, to kick out addiction as well. I think I may have done that. Not sure yet, it's too early to say. I feel that the mindfulness classes here have been absolutely crucial for my development and for the healing work with the medicine. I had an amazing time here. I really enjoyed, apart from ceremonies and apart from the medicine, I think that for me it all combined, using the mindfulness sessions and the yoga classes all together, like in ceremonies and when I'm integrating myself into one experience. I feel that I have the tools to move on forward and to implement changes in my life. I would mention in more detail the mindfulness classes. I mean, mindfulness with Sean has been absolutely amazing. He's an incredible teacher. After 2 years or 3 years of reading about Buddhism and trying to meditate, I finally understand like how it's happening. I finally have the sense, and I have absolute certainty that I can do it later on. I mean, the tools that I got here are invaluable for me.
My name's Sabrina Laura. I live in Vermont, and I'm a Jungian psychotherapist. And the horse I rode in on was an eating disorder a couple of years ago. One of the ways that the workshop worked powerfully for me was that it offered a framework. So there was a bit of an overlay of let's say I'm really accustomed to images and metaphor. So in this particular retreat, we were focused on mindfulness. And that offered a framework, a different language style to work with ayahuasca. In my experience, she loves it when you have models. I remember the first time, I had this sense that she was indexing my mind, and she was kind of like looking around for models, like, did I know astrology, or did I know the chemical table or something, different ways of expressing to me different metaphors. And she was like, oh, okay, I'll use the Jungian model. So this way with the retreats, they offer a model of mindfulness. And so from that lens, I was able to go deeper into my experience, because what isn't enhanced with mindfulness? If you could be more present to the present, that in and of itself gives a profound quality to whatever your experience is. This particular workshop offers a very accessible language for something that's ineffable. And therefore, it allows the experience to dream on.
My name is Waleed Nasrallah, and I come from Lebanon, Beirut, and back there I'm in the creative field, so I work in advertising and marketing, and long time before I used to be a cartoon animator as well. And I've come here because I was curious to discover what's beyond this reality, and to discover more about who I am. So I've been here for a 12 days program, which includes 4 ceremonies, and this program was called Mindfulness and the Medicine, and it's perfect. It's perfect in the sense that it is very well balanced, and it helps someone who's never done ayahuasca before. It helps them really integrate and go through a very smooth experience where they can get the most out of it because it is mind-blowing. The ceremonies are mind-blowing. Each one is unique, each one is out of this world. It's very hard to know what to do with the experience. So the mindfulness program is spot on for that.
My name is John Simpson. I'm from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. I'm 71 years old, and I've been an addiction counselor for 30 years, and some 23 years of military time before that. And I came to bring myself together. I came looking for the answer to the question, who am I? I am part Aboriginal, Métis in Canada, and I have never really gotten in touch with that. I knew it as an idea, and yeah, that's my history, but I got in touch, and during my ceremonies, the elders of the Aboriginal elders would sing me songs about creation. They would tell me stories about what life was like back then. They reminded me that we are of the land is of us, and that the land wants us to live. And life and love are all the same. And I was a part of the land, therefore I was loved. I was connected to something very, very big and very eternal. And the theme through all my ceremonies was of that. It was all the same, basic themes. And what I could bring from that knowledge, bring it forward to my kids, my grandkids, and help them look at life a little differently. And I thought I had a pretty good handle on mindfulness. And Sean took me to 2 or 3 levels down about how to utilize mindfulness in a more rational way. I always looked at mindfulness as kind of like a spiritual, emotional thing, and I put the rational part aside. And Sean, using mindfulness-based CBT, was really good for me. And I'm going to take all that back to my work. I'll have a whole different approach now when I use mindfulness at work. So that was really beneficial. So I got nothing but kudos for Sean. He did a wonderful job. A wonderful job.
My name's Lisa, and I'm from York, Pennsylvania, in the United States. Well, I had a very powerful experience my first ceremony. I had a repressed memory from my childhood. A very traumatic repressed memory came up, which fed into the reason for my relationship problems very deeply. It's not something I don't think I could have received anywhere other than a setting like this. And the facilitation that was available to support me through learning that and handling it was amazing. The mindfulness, I picked this retreat particularly for that reason. I've done a lot of mindfulness work the past several years at home on my own. I've never had formal mindfulness training, but I've watched myself change as a result of practicing mindfulness. I would say that learning about yourself, which is basically what the mindfulness practice is, learning the different components that come into who we are and why we're that way, is an integral part of this process. And I'm very grateful to Sean. So it's been very helpful.